In the cold lands of northern Europe or Scandinavia, where the day is shorter than the night, the bright light of the sun is visible only for a few hours in the morning, while the night is brutally cold. Everywhere is filled with cruel powers that the Viking ancestors who first settled in this land had no way to avoid. They had to fight against packs of fierce, bloodthirsty wolves and barbarians who came from the dark mountains to rob both their wealth and food, kill men, and rape women. These people set fire to and destroy wooden houses, making fire both warm and a symbol of destruction. Whenever there were no wolves and enemies, nature crushed the remaining people with wind, ice, and snowstorms. These were the powers of darkness or the evil side in northern Europe: wolves, monsters, poisonous snakes, fire, and giants that the brave in ancient times had to fight and defeat. Any brave people who died during the war would be recorded in poems and songs of praise. And the first heroes born in the world were the Asgurd gods, ruled by the god Odin, the supreme god of Scandinavian mythology. It is said that before our world was born, there was nothing but emptiness. Later, in the midst of this emptiness, two lands emerged. The northern land is called the Land of Mist or Niflheim. The southern land is the Land of Fire or Muspelheim. Muspelheim, the Land of Fire, is the residence of the demon who was the first enemy of the world, Surth. Its weapon is the Sword of Fire. It is believed that when the day of the end of the world comes, or Ragnarok, Surth will come to destroy the world with the army of giants. When the enemy of the world was born, the god of light who came to protect humans and drive away darkness, including the wolf pack, was also born. But strangely, the gods had the same origin as the giant race, which was born from ice. The first being born between these two lands was the ancestor of all giants. He was named Ymir. The body of this giant was made of ice flakes. He survived on milk from the magical cow Odumla. Soon, the ice crystals on Ymir's body broke into giants called Reem, the ancestor of all magicians, and demons in the world. Odumla was not born just to give milk to Ymir. She herself had to survive by licking ice cubes that were everywhere. After licking the ice cubes for 3 days, the first god of the Asgurd gods appeared, the god Biri. This god Biri had a very strong and beautiful appearance. He was the first beautiful thing to appear in the world. He had a son, the god Bor, who married the giantess Bestla. Together, they created our world. They were the first couple to plant the seedling of the world tree Yggdrasil, which was like the core of all elements and powers in the world. With this world tree, the balance of the world would remain. If the world tree was destroyed, the whole world would be shattered into pieces in space. And the 3 sons of the god Bor were the ones who decided the fate of the world, especially the eldest son, the great god Odin, the god of the whole world. He and his brothers, the gods Vili and Ve, fought and killed the giant Ymir. Ymir's death killed most of the giants, except for a few who were intelligent and knowledgeable, which was considered a high quality. Odin spared his life. From Ymir's remains, Odin and his brothers created a perfect world. Ymir's blood became rivers and seas, his flesh became the earth, his bones became mountains, his teeth became rocks and pebbles, and his skull became the sky. Odin made the seas around the land, and Yggdrasil grew in the middle of the land, giving it shade to rule the world and supporting the sky above. Then the 3 gods went to get sparks from Niflheim and scattered them in the sky to make stars. Odin also gave light to the world both day and night. He also brought gold from Niflheim to make a solar chariot and created a sun goddess named Sol, to be the charioteer who drives the chariot across the horizon from morning to evening. At night, the moon god Mani will be the one to control the moon chariot to provide light instead. However, the misfortune of the humans also occurred. Both the chariot of Goddess Sol and the moon chariot had to speed across the horizon without stopping because the wolves born from an evil witch chased him fiercely and thirsted for blood. When the two chariots had to take turns being chased across the horizon of the world like this, the days and nights on Earth passed quickly. And whenever the end of the world came, the wolf pack would be able to catch up with the two chariots and destroy the light of the world. As for the great god Odin, he continued to create things for the world. At the same time, the giants and monsters who were born after Ymir's death were preparing to destroy the new world he had created. So God took Ymir's bones and used them as a wall to prevent the giants from living in another land called Jotunheim or Asgurd. Then he created a land for humans called the Central Land or Midgir, intending it to be a fertile land. So he wove trees from the hair of the Ymir, and grass from his brow. Then he made the clouds that filled the sky, to refresh the land of man with its seasonal rains. And he created the first man and woman from an olive and an elm tree. He named them Asgurd and Embla. He gave them souls. Vili gave them senses, and V gave them speech and the senses. They became the forefathers of the descendants of humans. But this pure bloodline from God's creation later became tainted with evil and sin because giants and various kinds of demons transformed in intercourse with their children. The great god Odin could not do anything about this phenomenon, so he created a heavenly world for the gods to live in, which would be an important force that would come to protect and defend these humans. That heavenly world or realm is Asgard.